Look at that. All these guys. I like it. Good to see you guys. Good morning. So what day is it today? It is St. Patrick's Day. That's a good answer. What's that all about? What's St. Patrick's Day all about? Any ideas? Well, St. Patrick was the patron saint of Ireland. In the old days, the church used to remember people who did great things to spread God's love and call them saints. And different countries, different places ended up with a saint that was kind of their saint. And England's saint is St. George, is that right? And Scotland's saint is St. Andrew. And the United States has St. Donald. I think that's right. And Ireland has St. Patrick. Do you know anything about St. Patrick? He has a kind of an interesting story. St. Patrick, when he was like 14 or 15 years old, kind of like around grade 8 or grade 9, only he didn't go to school, something really, really terrible happened to him. The village he was living in on the coast of Wales was attacked by pirates. Pirates. Real pirates. And they came and they took Patrick away from his village in Wales and they took him to Ireland. And he was a slave. He was away from his family, away from his mom and his dad and his grandparents. Back then there were some pirates. This was like more than 1,000 years ago. And he was away from mom and dad, didn't know anybody around, and he didn't even speak the language of the people who'd captured him. And they gave him a job. You know what his job was? He took care of sheep. And he lived out in a field and took care of sheep all night and all day to protect them from wolves and from sheep stealers. He was by himself, and that was his job. Why would people want sheep? Well, you can make wool from their hair, and you can eat them. People eat sheep. Yeah. You make clothes from the wool. Anyway, Patrick is out there night after night, day after day, all by himself. He had a lot of free time, a lot of time to himself, and he would talk to God. He'd say, God, what's the deal? What am I doing here? Is this going to be my whole life, just taking care of these sheep in this field all by myself? And God said, don't worry. There's a ship coming, and you'll be able to get back to Wales. So he escaped, and he went all the way back to the coast, and he saw the ship. He got on the ship, and the ship took him all the way back to Wales, and he's back with his mom and dad and his grandma and grandpa. And he was praying and thanking God. And he heard a voice inside him saying, you need to go become a minister. And so he went off to France to minister school, and he learned all the things he needed to do, learned how to read the Bible, and learned how to talk to people and how to preach. And then, you know what he did? He asked permission to go back to Ireland. This place where he'd been a slave, this place where he had no friends, this place where people were mean to him, where all he got to do was be with the sheep. And he spent the rest of his life walking around Ireland, talking to people in Ireland about God's love. And during his lifetime, they were able to build churches and start congregations like this in almost every village and every town in Ireland. And that's why they made him St. Patrick. That's why he became famous. So every year on March 17th, we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Do you know why it's on the 17th? Well, they don't know whether St. Patrick, whether the day he was born was either March 8th or March 9th. Nobody could actually figure it out. So they added 8 and 9 together, and what'd they get? 17. So March 17th is St. Patrick's Day. But what I like about this story about St. Patrick is that Those people who were mean to him, he could have been mean right back. But instead, he decided he wanted to help them. And I think the only way that can happen is he had love in his heart. And I think that love came from God. Because where else could that come from? Enough love to be even kind to people who weren't kind to you. So every Sunday, after I do the children's time, we do something. What do we do? I'll give you a hint. It involves baskets and offering plates and walking all around the church. Do you know what to do? Go do it.